Well, the Cubs have made a game of it. 6-3. Doug Glanville grounds out on the first pitch. He sees from Springer, the Cardinal reliever. And now an interesting story here as Tony Womack takes over at second base on the double switch. He'll hit ninth. Antonio Alfonseca on to pitch. Mike Riley, the crew chief, went out and told Alfonseca that, remember, both sides have been warned as both Clement and Herron hit their mound opponent with thrown baseballs. And there you see Riley reminding Alfonseca that if there's any funny business, he will not hesitate to send him to the Cubs clubhouse. So here we go to the seventh. Scott Rowland, Palmeiro, and Renteria coming up. And a bunt is fouled at third. Rowland hasn't been able to hit his way on much. He's 2 for 16 in the series.
Pretty good idea, though. If he got that ball in play, he probably didn't think that Alf was cat quick off the mound, and he saw Ramirez back at third. But the ball drifted foul. And Antonio comes in. He's actually thrown the ball very well recently, on for the 53rd time. The ERA a descending 5.19. And the last 4 or 5 times out, he's been close to unhittable.
4 2/3 scoreless for Alfonseca. And that's off the plate. The Cubs and Antonio will await whatever decision Major League Baseball will make regarding his confrontation with the third base umpire in last night's ball game. There was contact made. Dusty Baker said it was accidental. Alou, diving try, can't get it. That's in the corner. Rowland around first on his way to second, and he will pull in there. A line drive double by Rowland. His 42nd two-base hit of the year, and the Cardinals come right back.
This ball real hard hit. And it's out over the plate, and Rowland takes it down the line. Moises with a good effort, but doesn't come anywhere near it. So it rattles around for a while, and the Cardinals looking for some insurance. They saw the Cubs get a whole lot closer. And Scott Rowland now among the National League leaders in doubles.
Now Palmeiro the hitter.
Sean Green leading, and despite a disappointing year, he has been a doubles machine this year.
6-3 St. Louis the lead. We are in the 7th inning of play. Interesting story on the wire today. The Expos options in San Juan are being discussed, despite reports that both Major League Baseball and the Players Association being desirous of one home for the Expos. There still is talk about a split schedule again for next year. The decision might be made while the Cubs are in San Juan next week. Bud Selig is going to be attending the first game, I believe, of that series with the Cubs down there, so perhaps he will have an announcement as to where the Expos will play in 2004, either in Montreal, San Juan, a combination of both, or who knows, someplace else. 2 balls, no strikes to Palmeiro. The bunt is fouled at the plate, and it's 2-1 to the Cardinal outfielder, getting another start in this series. He's made up for an 0 for 7 start at the plate with 2 singles, a walk, a run scored, and some scintillating defensive work.
He's also had a perfect day today, and the Cardinals know that it's of critical importance for them to get Rowland at least over to third base with nobody out.
Long way to go in this ball game.
The wind blowing out.
Well, Springer, it appears, if the Cardinals can get this game down to his spot in the order, will throw 1 pitch. Runner's going to third. Hit and run is on. Rolling around third. Stops there. 6-3 the putout. Retires Palmeiro. Rolling at third. 1 away now.
Well, it was a pretty good piece of hitting because they didn't figure that Palmeiro would be able to pull Alfonseca. And so they send Rowland, knowing Alfonseca didn't pay much attention to him at second. In fact, he paid almost no attention to him. But he did make contact, and it's a good thing he was out on this one because there would have been no way to throw him out at third. So now the infield forced to come in at all 4 positions.
Renteria still looking for that elusive first hit of the series. Here in this spot, a fly ball gets him another run. He's got 81 RBIs on the year. A team record of 82 in the Cardinals system held by Doc Levan, who did that in 1921. 80-plus-year-old record could fall by the boards in this series for Renteria.
Well, he has 6 sacrifice flies. That's 1 behind Scott Rowland for the team lead.
Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Alf needs a ground ball with the infield in. Outfield straight away, not overly deep. But again, the wind is blowing out. Now, probably going to try to trick him with that inside fastball.
Ground ball, base hit. Rowland scores. Renteria does have the 82nd RBI, and St. Louis leads by a 7-3 score.
Alf tried to sneak that one by him inside. Didn't get there.
So Renteria's first hit plates another run for St. Louis. And now Mike Matheny, the Cardinal catcher, stands in. Feast or famine for him today. 2 singles, a run scored, but also a double play ball as the coach Mike Ditka gets ready for Take Me Out to the ball game here today.
You have to keep your eye on Renteria. ALFONSECA is so slow home, they are going to probably run with Renteria. This is also a good hit and run situation.
One ball, no strikes.
It's a pleasure to see Mike Ditka because I came in right behind him at the Fox Sports Grill in Arizona. I missed him by, I think, 5 minutes.
1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball toward third. Good pickup. Second one. Did he come off the bag? And then the slide off the bag by Renteria. Heads up play by Tony Womack. Ramirez's throw pulled him off the bag. Now the Cardinals are going to argue as Renteria overslid the bag at second base and then was tagged out as Womack didn't give up on the play.
The first part of the play was real good on the part of Ramirez, but he threw the ball off the mark. And now they're arguing, and Mike Riley comes out. He just wants to know about Eric Cooper. What exactly happened down there? And Cooper is saying he slid over the bag. He was initially safe, but when he slid over the bag, they tagged him out. Now, as you can see, he was safe. He went over the bag, but when he came off the bag is when they called him out. Should really be nothing to argue about.
Wow, Renteria is really lucky, too, that he didn't hurt himself. In fact, his hand is sitting on top of Womack's glove. That's why he was called out. And so, runner at first, 2 outs. And Springer will hit for himself here. Come on, Antonio. 2-0 the count. 7-3, St. Louis the lead. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning after Mr. and Mrs. Ditka delight us with their vocal abilities. Sosa, Alou, Simon, and Ramirez are coming up.
You don't want to get to Vina, you know that. And Springer doesn't have an at-bat this year, so I think you'd just as soon get the ball over the plate.
2-1. Did he go? He did. 2-2. That will take care of Springer and the St. Louis Cardinals. All right, the coach is here. 5th time he's been guest conducting our 7th inning stretch. The 5th time, I'm sure, is the charm. It's time for Take Me Out to the ball game.
Oh! You gotta believe! Let's go! Wake up! Okay, let's go! For the Cubs! 1, 2, 3! Take me out to the ball. Take me out to the ball. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get for the whole. When it's a shame. 3 strikes, you're out.
Announcing the biggest offers of the year on the award-winning Mercury Sable. Great end-of-the-model year savings during the Lincoln Mercury Anniversary Clearance. Plus, these great offers come with great features. Remote keyless entry, fingertip speed control, and power everything. Now get 0% APR financing for 6 full years or up to $4,000 cash back on Mercury Sable. Plus, your dealer's best model year-end price. It's one anniversary you don't want to miss. Hurry to your local Lincoln Mercury dealer.
It's not just the advanced technology or the world's best blades. It's the way it's all put together. No razor shaves better than Mach 3 Turbo. It's the world's best shave. We guarantee it or your money back. Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette.
Tonight on the WB, Smallville, now on its new night and earlier time, 7 o'clock.
Thought of someone hurting you.
A hero loses control,
You're in some kind of jealous rage.
turning trust into fear.
So how'd you do it, Clark?
Smallville,
Tonight at 7 on WGN, Chicago's WB.
the bond they share will be turned against him.
What do you want me to do, Master?
Angel after Smallville. Tonight at 8 on WGN.
Hey, here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 7-3 is our score. Steve Stone, Chip Terry, and the coach, Mike Ditka, here at Wrigley Field. I got to tell you, just as lousy as we expected.
I thought it was a lot better.
Yeah, a lot better. No question. Diana carried the
Diana
load.
helped. She carried it. But, hey, listen, you can't be talented at everything. And in my case, I'm talented at nothing. So,
Yeah, but in this your 5th appearance, it seems to me like you're just rounding into shape.
well, you know, but if I could do this for 10 more years, who knows?
Would you like the opportunity?
Well, they've already asked me to keep doing it, so I don't know. We'll see.
You guys look great. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's great. I can't complain. I'd like to get about 5 runs right here, and
You
then
and
I
me
would
both.
be very happy.
Sammy Sosa standing in. Cubs are down 4, and that's well off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Hard to believe it. Pennant races, football season, everything's kicking off this
Well,
weekend.
You know, somebody asked me about that. I said, listen, this is a north side town. This is a Cubs town, gang. You know, one other than running, it's going to be about the Cubs, period.
Well, we're hoping that that's the case. And,
Yeah.
Coach, let me ask you a question. You've had every aspect of the media, and you've had every aspect of coaching. Which is tougher?
Well, you know, coaching's tougher, believe me, a lot harder. The media's not hard. As you know, Steve, it's not hard. Especially if you're knowledgeable like you are, it's kind of easy to say, you know, what's going on out there. And I think I know enough about football to be able to do that. But I tell you, coaching is tough today. Players are different. The salary cap. There's a lot of variables that make it very tough.
Is it harder today than it was when you first started coaching?
Absolutely. Free agency's created that, and it's created in baseball too. I mean, you groom a player for 3 years, and all of a sudden, bang, he's playing for your opponent. That's tough.
Out of play toward the press box, and into and out of the press box. That almost picked off Bernie Miklasz, the fine beat writer and columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I think everybody's all right.
He caught a break. That one almost got him. Think about a batting helmet. Let's see if Sammy can hit the breaking ball here.
2-2. In the dirt, ball 3. This game not over by a long shot. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Uh-oh, the crawfish is out, so we should be in pretty good shape.
How's your restaurant doing?
Actually, Steve, the restaurant is really doing terrific, and I'm very lucky. I got good management. I got a good partner, and we're doing very well. I mean, we're never going to exceed what some of these restaurants in the city do, but we're doing very well. We're happy.
It's a great restaurant town.
Best in America.
Yes, indeed.
All 4 to Sammy Sosa.
If you don't get good food in Chicago, you're not looking very hard.
Well, that's true.
So the Cubs are in business here in the 7th inning. 7-3 the score. This game not over by any stretch. Alou 3 for 3. 3 singles, a run scored, and a run batted in.
Tell us a little bit about the Bears this year and what we should expect.
Well, I think they're going to be a better football team. I'm a little, you know, you're a little apprehensive about the offensive line, Steve, because they've got some problems. They got 2 inexperienced guys at left and right tackle. They got a new guy coming in at left guard. So, you know, they've got some problems, but I think the defense is going to be a pretty dominant defense, and I think it has a chance to overshadow. That is if the 2 corners play football, and that's going to be the key. Those 2 cornerbacks have to play. Other than that, I think the addition of Stewart is good because you got to have somebody that's mobile when the protection's bad. You got to have a mobile quarterback.
I'm asking, what's it like for Stewart when you know you have an inexperienced line, and this guy obviously has good mobility, but will he be running for his life on every play?
Well, I don't think for his life, but I think they're going to design some plays to get him out of the pocket. They're going to use a lot of what we call bootlegs or naked plays, and they're going to get him moving a little bit.
How about the running game? Will it be able to have enough of an impact to be able to take some pressure off?
That's the whole key. If the line will block a little bit up front. I mean, everybody blamed it on Thomas last year. Maybe he was dancing a little bit. See, but you can't run if you get hit in the backfield. I don't care if you're Walter Payton or Gale Sayers. You know, it's hard to run when you don't get started. And these kids weren't getting started last year.
2 balls and a strike to Moises Alou. We're chatting with Mike Ditka, great Bears coach. The pitch to Alou is a very generous strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I want to talk about the defense. We talk so much, Mike, about modern players and old school players. How would Brian Urlacher have fit in your era?
Well, Brian probably would have been an outside linebacker. If you had Butkus, would have been an outside linebacker. I mean, there's no question about it. But he's a darn good one, and he's one of the greatest players in the game today. But there's nobody.
Alou sends that deep toward left field. That ball is in the basket.
Hey!
Here we go. It's 7-5.
Bullpen going to get up and going as the one thing that's kept the Cardinals from running away is what we're looking at right here. They have a real hard time out of that pen.
And Steve, you know, when Vasaro came in there, I was amazed that he could pitch that much. He had to be tired from yesterday alone.
Well, you would think a lot of these guys would be tired from yesterday. That was a long day for everybody.
So it's a 2-run game. Here's Randall Simon, and more importantly, there's still nobody out. And Randall takes a quick strike. 0-1 the count.
Southwest Airlines, it flew 360 happy feet, and the Cubs within 2.
Way inside. Coach, how do you see the NFC race shaping up? The Buccaneers, the defending champs.
Well, you know, I think if Vic wouldn't have got hurt, that would have been the toughest division. You know, with them, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, and, of course, Atlanta. With Vic getting hurt, I think it's going to make it easier for him, but it's hard to repeat. And I think Carolina and New Orleans are going to give him some problems. I think they're going to get to the playoffs. I think Philadelphia is going to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. That's only my opinion. I'm not an expert, believe me. But Philadelphia's been the bridesmaid for 2 years. I think they're going to become the bride this year.
What's the biggest lesson you would say to John Gruden and the Buccaneers? You were a world champion with the Bears. What's the biggest difference from one year to the next?
Play them one at a time. No complacency, no cockiness. Hey, we won last year. They won last year because they were a great team, not because of one player. They didn't have a great player. I mean, you can talk about their defense. They won because they were a great team. That's what they have to be this year, a great team. They're not going to win because of one of those defensive or offensive players.
2-2 to Simon. Missed the inside corner. It's a full count. Steve Klein is up. Every time the coach shows up, it becomes surreal at Wrigley Field. Now it's a 2-run game. Cubs are down 7-5. St. Louis led it 6-0. That one popped up. Left side, it's going to stay in play, and Renteria, battling the wind, almost misplayed that. There's your first out. So 1 away for Ramos Ramirez here. He had a 2-run homer off the throw.
Good play by Renteria as he drifts with the wind. And, Coach, if you had your choice, and I know everybody wants the ideal tight end, would you want a prodigious blocker or a guy who can catch the ball and run the routes downfield as a tight end?
Well, you would like a tough physical guy that could do both. You know, Tony Gonzalez by far is the best, I think, receiving tight end. Sharp is a great receiving tight end. But, you know, the kid in New York could be outstanding. He really could be. Shockey could be the best.
If he keeps
block,
his helmet on and doesn't
keep his
say
mouth
anything.
shut. Let his playing do the talking. He'll be as good as anybody. But you can't go out and make the statements he makes. First of all, it's degrading to your opposition. It's degrading to the game of football. So, but I as a player, I like what he can do physically. If you're asking me, yeah, he'll block. He's physical. He's tough. He put a muzzle on him, and you got a good football player.
Do you feel, Coach, that your faith in Ricky Williams has been rewarded with his rebound in Miami?
Chip, it never bothered me. I swear to God, it never bothered me 1 minute. We needed Ricky Williams in New Orleans. We all decided to do it. It wasn't Mike Ditka's pick. It was the owners, general managers, the coaches, the player personnel guy, we went with him. He helped our team, but he got hurt the first year. He wasn't the same player.
And you always said from day one you really loved this kid, not just as a player, but as a kid.
He's a great kid. He's a good kid. You know, he's a little bit timid and a little bashful around people, but I never had a problem with him. You know, I talked to him quite frequently, and we talked at length about a lot of things. I really like him, and I tell you, Miami will go where he goes this year. If they don't get behind and start throwing the ball all day, and he run that kid, he'll have a great year.
1 strike to Ramirez, and that's off the plate. They added Junior Seau, too, down there.
Yeah, well, I think Junior's going to bring him leadership. You know, I don't know how much gas he's got left in his tank, but he will bring him some leadership. He's a fiery guy, a great competitor, and you love to have guys like that on your team.
Swing and a miss. You're going to be at the new Soldier Field for the Bears opener?
It's going to be, I don't know if I'll be there for the opener, but I tell you, the venue, the Soldier Field is going to be phenomenal. The fans are going to love it. It's going to be great, and you can take what it looks like and forget it. It's, you know, to me, it's like if you want a toilet that works or you want one that looks good. You know, this one works, believe me.
I'd prefer one that works if I had a choice, personally.
And this one works. I mean, it works for the fan, and that's the only person that's really important in this whole equation, the fans.
Is it going to be as affected by the wind as the old Soldier Field was?
I don't think it will be. I don't think it has a chance to be affected by the wind. First of all, the stadium, the seats are so much closer to the field. The proximity of all the seats to the field is probably the closest of all the stadiums in the NFL.
Well, that makes it great for the fan, which in the end is what you really want to do anyway.
And plus, you've got concessions. You've got you're going to have restaurants in the thing. You got all the bathrooms you need. You got escalators, elevators. You can move people around, and that's important too. You don't want people walking 2 miles to get to a seat.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Ramirez. That ball hit in the air, right center field. On the run, Palmeiro. He will make the grab. And there is your second out.
Well, I guess the next natural question is, with the amount of money you've made on the golf course in your life, because I know you're a terrific golfer, and with the big media glue that you've been able to assemble, when are you going to own a team?
Boy, I tell you one thing. You think I'm laughing? I tell you, if I win that lottery, things are going to change. You know, and it's like the old guy that kept praying to God to win the lottery, the old Polish guy. So finally he hears a voice from God. He says, Stash, I hear you, but he says, you got to buy a ticket. So I've been buying the tickets, but I haven't heard them yet.
Well, look, Daniel Snyder paid, I think, just $800 million for the Washington Redskins. It's a bargain at this point.
You know, I don't know if you can make money with it right now. I really don't know if you can, but I know that there's a lot of ego involved in owning a sports team, really. And I don't know that I've ever been a man about ego, so I really don't worry too much about that.
Well, before this inning ends, there's one thing I want to say. Of all the great personalities that's ever come through this town, you have been consistently as refreshing and delightful as anybody that I've ever run into, and you mean so much to this city and have for so long. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Plus, if I was an owner, I'd probably choke one of the coaches and the players.
That wouldn't go over too well at the league office.
Another one, it's out of here! You can put it away!
He can own the team, he can coach the team, he can call the games too. It's a one-run game. Hey, hey!
I remember Hey Hey, but I think Holy Cow probably was a little later, and both of them equally as effective.
Do you remember this one? Open your window, Aunt Minnie, here it comes. Rosie Rosewell.
Sure.
Bob Prince was his sidekick with the Pirates way back when, and that was his call. When Connor hit so many home runs when I was a kid, it was unbelievable. But I was always a Cardinal fan because of music. Always. Grew up a Cardinal fan, and I'm a diehard Cub fan, period.
So it's a one-run game. The coach has helped the Cubs back to within a run, 7-6. And we've got 2 more innings, and the wind is howling out at Wrigley.
And this one has gotten really interesting. The Cubs way back. They fought their way back. And, Coach, is there any replacement for just good character in professional sports?
No. Character counts. And when you see it, you know it. It's like class. You know, there's an old saying, you know, it's hard to define, but when you see it, you know it and you appreciate it. Character is so very, very important. And you'll win more with character than you would with talent. And I say that and I mean it. Talent can only last so long. Character will last the whole time. And people can get better, but if you get people who are good players with bad character, they won't last. And that's just the opinion of me. I mean, I don't care what people think anymore.
Damian Miller squibs that to the right side. Good pick up, close play, and they got it. That'll retire the side. But, Mike, it's
Thank
great
you, guys.
to see you.
God
All
bless
the
you.
best.
Thank you.
Diana, you too. Wonderful job singing. All the best. We'll see you at the Bears opener. It's coming up soon. And the Cubs have come back to make it a one-run game here at Wrigley Field.